Good afternoon. My name is Specialist Bankston. Today we will be going over converting azimuths. The task number for this class is 071 Charlie Oscar Mike 1016. The classification for this class is unclassified. The risk assessment is low. The risks that we have today are the cords on the floor. We're in a hotel meeting room. To mitigate those risks, we're going to have situational awareness to step over the cords if they're still on the floor, or move the cords to a place to where they won't be tripped over. Electrocution, we're covering outlets to mitigate people sticking unauthorized objects into the outlets. Dehydration, drink water, and spilling water. We will keep lids on drinks. So today in this class, I'll give you the task is to convert azimuths. The conditions: you are a member of a squad preparing to conduct a tactical movement, and you have been directed to convert azimuths in preparation for a movement. You have been given a 1 in 50,000 military map, pencil, paper, a magnetic azimuth, and a grid azimuth. Some iterations of this task should be performed in Mach 4. We don't have the equipment at the moment for Mach 4, so we will be conducting this class in OCP uniform. The standards for this class: convert an azimuth into a back azimuth, a magnetic azimuth into a grid azimuth, and a grid azimuth into a magnetic azimuth without error. The north and south lines designate the grid north on your map, and the compass needle points to the magnetic north. The grid magnetic angle is the angle difference between grid north and magnetic north. For grid magnetic angle, we will be using the GM angle to abbreviate it. So right now I'm going to go over and ask the class for the PCI to make sure they have everything they need. So what I'm going to ask, and I'm going to ask everybody in the class if they have, do you have an ID card, water source, pencil, paper, and a map? Good to go. So number one, the first thing we want to do is convert an azimuth into a back azimuth. When converting azimuth into back azimuth, extreme care should be exercised when adding or subtracting 180 degrees. A simple mathematical mistake could have disastrous consequences. First, we want to add 180 degrees if the azimuth is less 180 degrees or less, and we want to subtract 180 degrees if the azimuth is 180 degrees or more. Then we want to convert a magnetic azimuth into a grid azimuth. To convert a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth, subtract the GM angle. And you have to locate the GM angle, which is part of the declination diagram at the bottom of your map. The declination diagram shows both a graphic picture of the GM angle and provides a written summary for the GM angle. The written summary includes the date of the GM angle and the actual angle in both degrees and mils. And then we have to determine whether that GM angle is easterly or westerly, and by doing that we'll have to see which side of the true north that magnetic north line falls on. If it's easterly or westerly, to obtain the grid. So to apply, you need to apply the mathematical formula to convert a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth. One, add the easterly to a magnetic azimuth to obtain the grid azimuth, and subtract the westerly grid magnetic angle from a magnetic azimuth to obtain a grid azimuth. As an example, given a magnetic azimuth of 190 degrees, using the above diagram, you would add 9.5 degrees to 190 degrees to obtain a grid azimuth of 199.5 degrees. And to convert a grid azimuth to a magnetic azimuth, you would need to locate the GM angle, which is part of the declination diagram at the bottom of your map again. And you would need to apply the mathematical formula to convert a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth. You need to subtract the easterly GM angle from the grid azimuth to obtain a magnetic, and add a westerly GM angle to a grid azimuth to obtain magnetic azimuth of 190 degrees. Right now I'm going to give you all 5 minutes to practice. If you need to pause the video, you can do that to get to 5 minutes, and I will be walking around to check and see how everybody's working. So the 5 minutes is over, and now I'm going to review the task conditions and standards back with you again before we start the evaluation. The task is to convert azimuths. You are a member of a squad preparing to conduct tactical movement, and you have been directed to convert azimuths in preparation for the movement. You have been given a 1 in 50,000 military map with a declination diagram, pencil paper, and magnetic azimuth and a grid azimuth. Some iterations of this task should be performed in Mod 4, which we already stated that we don't have the equipment, so we will be doing it in OCP. And the safety risks are still low. The risk assessment is still low. So right now we're going to give you the setup for the evaluation. You will need paper, pencil. We're going to go back over your PCI to make sure you still have everything you need to do this evaluation. So the ID card, pencil, paper, and map. And I just told you what was expected by telling you what the task was and what we will be doing. You need to be cautious of everything around you so you won't get to avoid injury, and drink water to avoid heat injury, and don't damage any of the equipment. So right now, I'm going to give you time to finish this test. Evaluation. So the evaluation is now over, and I will now test your papers. So, one person out of four got to go on the evaluation, which is me, and we have 3 no-goes. The retest will be tomorrow at 1400 in this same place in the meeting room in the hotel. The uniform is OCP. Right now, we will conduct a police call around the area and make sure it's clean. Environmental protection is not just a law, but the right thing to do. It is a continual process and starts with deliberate planning. Always be alert to ways to protect our environment during training and missions. In doing so, you will contribute to the sustainment of our training resources by protecting people and their environment from harmful effects. Refer to the current environmental considerations manual and the current GTA environmental related risk assessment card. Now we start our AAR. What was supposed to happen? We were supposed to convert an azimuth into a back azimuth, a magnetic azimuth into a grid azimuth to a magnetic azimuth without error, and what did happen, we did that. What went wrong, what went right. How do I improve training for the next time? So we just went over everything in this AR, what we can do right next time, everything. There was no damaged equipment or injuries. Everybody's still safe. Nothing's broken. And all of the control measures were implemented effectively. I'm not gonna mark my paper for the PCI. And that concludes our class for today.